Hi everyone. So on popular demand, I have brought to you yet again another video about how to manage yourself in a corporate environment. Today's video is about how to help yourself in case you have a difficult boss. And often at some points of our lives, we have dealt with bosses who have been really nasty, or we are currently dealing with bosses who are very nasty, or we feel that they're out to get us. So today we are going to talk about how to deal with such bosses and do's and don'ts of how to deal with situations with such bosses. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that comes to your mind is go to the HR, complain about the whole thing. Well, let me tell you something, it won't work. Tell you why. Because HR, like you, is an employee of the organization. And because it's an employee, the main job description of HR is to ideally get the work done, get everyone to work in a cordial environment. Now, if you go to the HR complaining about your boss, HR has only a limited amount of power. They don't have the power to fire someone really. So what they can do and they will do is take your complaint and hand it to the boss just to ask clarification about the matter. And because the boss is in a position where he can actually give a clarification and maybe he's good at it, that is the reason he's the boss, you are going to be in deep shit because he will obviously win this one. Because he's so manipulative is why he's the boss. And because of this, you will not have any justice. And in every organization, they expect the bosses to be tough. Why? Because they need to get the work done. And because of that, the description of toughness is not given anywhere. So the boss can easily get away with saying that he was just trying to get the job done because the employee was being a little difficult. So the maximum thing the HR can do is give a notice to the boss, and that's not going to help because he's going to get back at you if he's that kind of a nasty boss. Number 2, do not get into a screaming battle or a heated argument with your boss over anything. Because understand this, if your boss is a nasty one, he will definitely try to lure you into such an argument wherein you lose your cool and you end up screaming at him, and he will collect this as evidence against you in front of the management, saying that you were trying to spoil the decorum of the office or the office environment, and he had to take actions to do what he had to do, and you are going to look bad in front of the management. So that won't work. So don't ever engage yourself into a screaming battle with your boss. Number 3, and very important, don't try to gang up against your boss, because when you try to make a gang, and I have witnessed this quite often, that when people get together and say, oh, we're going to complain against the boss, the moment they go to the management, most of them back off and you are left alone just to face the music on your own. Not a good feeling, so don't do that. Now, what to do in case your boss is nasty, how to turn the situation around. Now, I myself have worked in a corporate environment and have had certain bosses like this, and there are certain things that I've done in my days to make sure to turn the situation around. I'm going to share them with you. If you think they're going to help you, please be my guest and use them, and do let me know in the comments below if they really help. So here goes. So number 1, you need to understand that your boss is a human being first before being a pig. Now, yes, he is being nasty and all that, but then he, like any other human being, like yourself, has his own set of desires and goals to achieve, and he's trying to get that. So just try to understand his goals and his desires. Once you are able to do that, once you're able to put yourself in his shoes, you'll be able to see his perspective. And if you help your boss achieve his goals, you'll be achieving your own goals in return. And that's going to help. So how do you connect with your boss? Well, in order to connect with your boss, you need to really put yourself in his shoes. You need to understand his goals, what he needs, what he desires, and give it to him. You need to connect. Connecting does not mean buttering. Buttering would only mean that you're surviving in the organization. But if you want to grow, you need to understand his desires, his goals, what he wants to achieve, not what you want to achieve, your goals and your desires. You understand his desires and his goals, and when he sees you making an effort towards trying to achieve his goals, he's definitely bound to recognize your efforts and then reward you for the same. Now, in an organization, I've always seen that there are a few people around the bosses, and there are like that, those are the people that the boss actually relies on. He takes all his decisions based on their intelligence and their feedback. Why is that? Because they have helped connect to the boss. This is exactly what you need to do. You need to get into that circle of connection. So once you get connected to the boss at that level, you'll be able to achieve your goals and he's not going to be as nasty to you. And that is how you're going to resolve your issue. I hope that works for you. Another way to connect is, especially around the time when you feel that he's going to enter into an argument with you and you know that this is not going to go anywhere but into a battle of words and a debate that is not going to resolve anything. So in that case, what you need to do is let him speak. Just listen. And when I say listen, I just don't say just listen from here and take it out from the other end. No, you need to listen to him. You need to acknowledge what he's saying. Because the bosses, they miss the most is that the employees don't listen to him. So if you hear your boss repeatedly telling you, no, you're not understanding me, no, you're not listening to me, do not revert back with saying, no, 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 I have better ideas, I have a better understanding of this, I know what I'm doing. If you say I all that much, it is bound to aggravate the situation. Do not do that. Let him talk. Let him put out his ideas, even though you know that his ideas are not that fresh or wrong or whatever the situation may be. Just let him talk. Listen to him. Agree with him at times where you think that it is, okay to agree. Say, all right, sir. Yes, you are right. I agree with your point. Yes, yeah, we can look at the situation in that way as well. Just agree with him, acknowledge what he has to say. And once he's done talking, it's highly likely that he's going to allow you to talk, and this is where you put forth your ideas. And this is exactly what you wanted in the first place, putting across your ideas in a very cordial manner, and he will listen to you. Try doing that. So in the worst case scenario, if you know that the boss is being a pig and there's no rectifying the situation and he's always nasty to you and whatever you do is not working, the only thing for you to do is plan your exit. Now do not leave your boss, just walk out and say, okay, I do not wish to work for you anymore and bye-bye. You are only bound to hurt your own career like this. Don't do that. Instead, plan it systematically. If you are having parallel departments in your organization, I suggest go ahead and start taking projects in other departments. Try building rapport with people of the same level as your boss in other departments. Try building a positive environment around you so that when the time comes and you can push for a transfer, you are able to speak to them comfortably and push for a transfer in that department, and then just move out. Don't burn your bridges with your bosses if you have an uncomfortable relationship, because it's not very good to burn your bridges in a corporate environment. You're only bound to hurt yourself. And that's your exit plan. Now, I don't guarantee that you'll not face the same kind of bosses in any other department, but at least you'll know how to deal with them because you now have had hands-on experience how to deal with a nasty boss. I hope this helped you, and in case there are any points that you find are relevant to you, please let me know. And if you have any questions, just put them out in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye now.